In the spring of 32 BC, a man named Zeno walked into a shop in Athens and changed the course of Western philosophy forever. This was no ordinary philosopher. Zeno was about to found a movement that would challenge the very idea of how one should live. His name might not be familiar, but his ideas have shaped our world in profound ways. Zeno's philosophy would come to be known as Stoicism, and at the heart of this new way of thinking was a radical idea about duty. He believed that we have an obligation to participate in public life until we are unable. This was a revolutionary concept at the time, but Zeno didn't stop there. He taught that living in agreement with nature was key to a virtuous life. And one of his students, Cleanthes, would take this idea further. Cleanthes added the crucial phrase, "with nature," to Zeno's teachings. Before we begin, a small request. Most of the people listening tonight aren't subscribed. If this channel has ever helped you drift off, take a moment to subscribe. It's free, it helps this channel more than you'd think, and you can always change your mind later. And if you feel like it, leave a comment telling me where in the world you're listening from and what time it is where you are. I love reading them. One more thing before we begin. I'm also a co-founder of a sleep app, built to be the most affordable one out there. No ads, ever. Just sounds and stories made to help you sleep. It may not be released yet as this video goes up, but if you're watching a little later, it might be out by now. Just search for it. It should be easy to find. It works on iPhone, Android, and everything in between. Downloading it is the best way to support this channel. Centuries later, Seneca emerged as a significant figure in the evolution of Stoicism. Born in 4 BC and passing away in 65 AD, Seneca made lasting contributions to Stoic thought through his writings. Seneca's philosophical works were influential in the revival of Stoicism during the Renaissance. His writings cover a diverse range of genres, including letters and consolations. These texts offer practical wisdom on how to live a virtuous and content life. Over time, Seneca's ideas have resonated with many, including the over 14 million students who use the Seneca Learning Platform today. This platform offers interactive lessons and tuition for students seeking to boost their academic performance. The Seneca people, an Iroquoian-speaking Native American tribe, historically inhabited regions around the Great Lakes and Finger Lakes in New York State. Their history and culture offer a different lens through which to view the evolution of thought and philosophy. In Ontario, Canada, there is also a Seneca Polytechnic College, continuing the name's legacy in education and learning. This college serves as another reminder of how deeply ingrained Stoic principles can be within various aspects of society. Lucius Annaeus Seneca's life and work encapsulate the essence of Stoic philosophy. Aligning our desires with what is naturally sufficient leads to a life free of constant longing. This core principle resonates strongly in his teachings, making him a key figure in shaping and popularizing Stoicism. Seneca the Younger was a Roman philosopher, statesman, and tragedian who made significant contributions to Stoic thought. Born around 4 BC, he rose to prominence in Rome during his lifetime. He is best known for his philosophical essays, such as On Providence, On Anger, and On Tranquility of Mind. These works have had a lasting influence on intellectual thought in Rome. Seneca also wrote notable tragedies, including Phaedra and Medea. His plays are considered masterpieces of Roman literature. In addition to his philosophical works, Seneca held important political positions during his time. He served as a tutor and advisor to the Emperor Nero for several years. Despite his political involvement, it was his philosophical writings that earned him recognition as one of the leading intellectual figures in Rome. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast ocean. The sea can provide all we need, but our insatiable nature drives us to seek more, often leading to restlessness and dissatisfaction. Logic, the second core subject, equips Stoics with a clear method for discerning truth from falsehood. Zeno believed that reasoning was essential in navigating life's complexities. Zeno's teachings emphasize that logical thinking helps us avoid being misled by appearances and false beliefs, ensuring we act with clarity and purpose. Ethics, the final pillar, guides Stoics in living virtuously and harmoniously within society. Here, duty is paramount. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote that our obligations extend to every person we meet. He taught that public life is not just an option, but a duty, until one becomes incapable. This structured approach to understanding the universe and morality encapsulates Stoicism's essence. Imagine if everyone in our society understood their role with such clarity, how different would our world be? Stoicism's curriculum isn't just about academic pursuit, it's a pathway to a balanced, virtuous life. By grounding ourselves in these core subjects, we can live in harmony with the natural order of things. This structured approach demonstrates the Stoic commitment to practical wisdom and ethical living, lessons that resonate today just as they did centuries ago. Maybe that's enough for now. Let's ponder the next step in our journey through Stoicism. In ancient times, the Stoics held a profound belief: our universe is entirely material and shot through with reason and purpose. Imagine, if you will, a cosmos where every element serves its role perfectly, much like the gears of an intricate clockwork. This isn't mere philosophical speculation, it's a bedrock principle that guided their way of life. But what does this mean for us, the individuals navigating this grand design? The Stoics saw duty kathekon as a central obligation. This isn't just about personal responsibility, it's about aligning with nature itself. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most revered figures, emphasized that our desires should be in harmony with what is naturally sufficient. Picture a world where we yearn only for what nature provides. No constant longing for excess, no insatiable cravings. Instead, contentment with the simple yet profound elements of life: water to quench our thirst, food to nourish our bodies, and air to breathe. But how do we achieve this state of natural alignment? The Stoics believed in a deep study of nature itself. Physics was the first branch of their curriculum. Understanding the universe's material nature and its inherent logic could guide us toward this balance. Imagine a life where our desires are not dictated by fleeting trends or artificial needs, but by the enduring rhythms of the natural world. The cycles of the seasons, the tides of the oceans, these could be our guides. Stoic principles are not about deprivation, they're about finding freedom in simplicity. By aligning with what is naturally sufficient, we're liberated from the endless pursuit of more. This isn't an easy path, but it promises a life free from constant longing, a profound lesson that Seneca will expand upon. Now, let's pause and reflect on the tranquility this perspective offers. No longer are we tugged by every whim or fleeting desire, we find our contentment in the natural world around us. In this quiet moment, consider how this alignment could shape your own desires and actions. Are you ready to explore further? Then let's delve into the wisdom of Seneca, who teaches us how to find true freedom from endless cravings. In the midst of chaos, when everything seems to be spiraling out of control, Stoicism offers a powerful insight: focus only on what you can control. This concept is known as the dichotomy of control, and it's a fundamental principle within Stoicism. Imagine yourself in the heat of a crisis. Perhaps you're dealing with a sudden job loss or a difficult relationship. In such moments, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and powerless. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of thinking clearly during chaos. The dichotomy of control helps us distinguish between what we can influence and what is beyond our power. This concept is not about ignoring the things you cannot control, but rather acknowledging them so that you can focus your energy on what truly matters, the things within your sphere of influence. For example, if you are facing a health scare, you might not be able to control the outcome directly. However, you can take care of your body by eating well, exercising regularly, and following your doctor's advice. This means understanding that while you might not have complete control over every aspect of your life, you do have the power to control how you respond and adapt to these situations. The dichotomy of control is not a limitation, but rather an empowering principle that allows us to navigate life's challenges with clarity and resilience. By practicing Stoicism, you can cultivate a mindset that helps you stay calm under pressure and focus on what truly matters, leading to a more peaceful and fulfilling existence. Seneca's letters, numbering 124 in total, offer a profound insight into the ancient philosopher's teachings. These writings are not merely correspondences, but deep reflections on the human condition. One of Seneca's primary focuses was discovering a life free from constant longing, a principle deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. He believed that true freedom lies not in the abundance of material possessions, but in aligning our desires with what is naturally sufficient. This perspective on freedom is echoed in various philosophical works and historical events, such as the revolutionary struggles for independence celebrated in constitutions and commemorated through events like the Freedom 250 celebration. Seneca's contributions to Stoicism emphasize that freedom is not just a political or legal concept, but a deeply personal journey of self-discovery and control over one's own longings. Consider the Freedom Mortgage, which provides mortgage servicing to more than 2.6 million homeowners, a testament to the power of managing and aligning resources with what is naturally sufficient. Similarly, the Freedom Trucks double-wide 18-wheel mobile museum celebrating American independence highlight achievements made possible by this aligned sense of freedom. Seneca's teachings encourage us to question the modern notion that more is better, and instead focus on the essential, the naturally sufficient. This philosophy can guide us towards a more content and controlled existence. Imagine living in a world where the constant drive for more is replaced with a sense of sufficiency, a life where true freedom resides in the alignment of our desires with what nature naturally provides. Seneca's principles, when applied, can lead us to a more tranquil mindset, one that is resilient and focused on the meaningful aspects of life rather than being consumed by longings. His philosophy reminds us that true freedom lies not in accumulating more, but in cultivating a sense of enough, an idea beautifully encapsulated in the concept of the dichotomy of control. By aligning our desires with natural sufficiency, as Seneca taught us, we can discover a life free from constant longing and step closer to genuine freedom. Let's consider the daily pressure of social media. The urge to constantly check for updates can be overwhelming. But Stoicism offers a pathway through this digital noise. Seneca advises us to focus on what we can control and accept the rest with equanimity. This principle, known as the dichotomy of control, is invaluable in managing our responses to social media alerts. By practicing this Stoic discipline, we can reduce anxiety and reclaim our attention for more meaningful pursuits. Consider a simple exercise. Before checking social media, pause to consider why you feel the urge. Is it genuine interest or just habit? This moment of reflection can significantly curb impulsive scrolling. In our professional lives, Stoicism provides a solid framework for dealing with stress and uncertainty. Seneca writes in his letters about accepting the inevitable vicissitudes of life. This acceptance doesn't mean passivity, but rather a proactive approach to managing expectations and preparing for challenges. Imagine a project deadline looming. Instead of panicking, we can prepare our minds to stay calm and focused. By applying Seneca's wisdom, we can transform stress into a motivator for action rather than paralyzing fear. This mindset shift is what makes Stoicism so relevant today. It turns ancient philosophy into modern resilience. Moreover, Seneca's teachings extend to our personal relationships. He emphasizes the importance of living in agreement with nature and others around us. This includes practicing empathy and understanding towards those we interact with daily. Freedom is a complex and multifaceted concept, especially in the context of how it shapes our daily lives and interactions with others. In modern liberal nations, freedom is often associated with individual rights and liberties, particularly those related to speech, religion, and the press. This broad scope of freedoms allows us to express our thoughts openly, practice our beliefs without fear, and access a wide range of information. But with this freedom comes the challenge of distractions that can hinder our focus and productivity. By doing so, we can overcome the distractions that surround us and improve our overall focus. This autonomy enables them to stay focused on their financial goals and responsibilities. In essence, freedom provides us with the tools to maintain our focus amidst the myriad distractions of modern life. By aligning our desires with what is naturally sufficient, as Seneca advises, we can achieve a state of mindful focus and tranquility. This practical application of freedom helps us to live more resiliently, happily, and virtuously, as Stoicism aims to do. Ultimately, the role of freedom in overcoming distractions is a testament to its power in shaping our daily lives for the better. Despite its ancient origins, Stoicism continues to captivate the modern world. Over the past few decades, there has been a notable resurgence in interest and practice of this philosophical tradition. Influential figures like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus have left behind a rich legacy that resonates today. Their teachings on resilience, happiness, and virtue are no longer relegated to academic studies. They have seeped into mainstream culture. Business leaders, athletes, and even tech entrepreneurs now look to Stoicism for guidance in navigating the challenges of modern life. Seneca, in particular, has seen a revival of interest. His essays and letters continue to be widely read and discussed. As Seneca teaches, true freedom comes not from acquiring more, but from learning to want less. This philosophy of contentment and simplicity offers a powerful antidote to the relentless pursuit of material wealth. In our fast-paced, constantly connected world, the Stoic principles of staying calm under pressure and focusing on what one can control provide a valuable framework for maintaining mental well-being. The future applications of Stoicism are as promising as its past. The timeless wisdom of Stoicism continues to guide us toward lives of greater resilience, happiness, and virtue lessons that will remain relevant for generations to come. You are standing in the heart of ancient Rome, where Seneca once walked and taught his philosophy. His timeless wisdom continues to resonate today as a beacon for finding inner peace. One of the key concepts in Stoicism is universal reason, the idea that there is a rational order permeating every aspect of the universe. This reason can be understood and embraced by humans, aligning our actions with the natural flow of life. Another fundamental concept is eudaimonia, which translates to living in accordance with nature and reason. Seneca taught that true happiness comes from understanding our place in the cosmos and aligning our desires with what is naturally sufficient. He believed that constant longing for more leads to a life of dissatisfaction and turmoil. Instead, he advocated for embracing the present moment and finding contentment in what we already have. In modern terms, this might mean appreciating the comforts of your home or the love of family and friends. Seneca's teachings are not just philosophical ideals, they offer practical applications for our daily lives. In today's fast-paced world, these teachings are more relevant than ever, offering a path to inner peace and contentment. So embrace the wisdom of Seneca, align your desires with what is naturally sufficient, and find freedom from constant longing. Contentment, as Seneca teaches us, is not a luxury but a necessity for a tranquil life. Imagine a world where our desires align perfectly with what nature provides. This isn't just some idealistic dream, it's the foundation of Stoic philosophy. The early Stoics emphasized living in accordance with nature. This small addition profoundly shifted the focus of Stoic thought towards contentment within natural limits. For Seneca, this principle was more than just a philosophy. It was a practical guide to navigating life's complexities. Think of a garden. When it receives just the right amount of sunlight and water, it flourishes. But too much or too little can cause it to wither. Similarly, our lives are most harmonious when we find balance in what nature offers us. Seneca defined virtues as qualities that align with what is naturally sufficient. By focusing on these inherent values, one can free themselves from the constant longing for more material wealth or external validation. This approach to life is not about self-deprivation, but rather about cultivating inner contentment and balance. By focusing on virtues such as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, we can lead lives that are free from the endless cycle of wanting more. Understanding and applying these principles can lead to a life that is more in tune with nature and our own innate qualities, ultimately leading to true freedom from constant longing. He believed that understanding and accepting the boundaries set by nature was key to finding true freedom. Historically, Stoics like Zeno and Cleanthes lived within these constraints, believing that duty was a central concern of life. They saw their role as participating fully in public life until they were unable, a belief echoed by later Stoics like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius. In modern times, understanding these natural limits can guide us to live within our means and find contentment. For instance, embracing the limit of time by planning activities thoughtfully can lead to a more fulfilling life. Similarly, accepting the finite resources available in our environment can help us avoid waste and live sustainably. By recognizing that we cannot control everything, we shift our focus to what is within our power, leading to a sense of true freedom. This understanding can reduce anxiety and longing for what is out of reach, allowing us to appreciate what we have. As we come to terms with the boundaries nature sets for us, we find true freedom within those limits. Modern applications of Stoicism include using mindfulness techniques to align our desires with what is naturally sufficient. By focusing on the present moment, we can train ourselves to be content with what nature provides, leading to a life free from constant longing. In our fast-paced world, mindfulness helps us appreciate the simplicity and beauty in everyday experiences, aligning our desires with natural sufficiency. This mindful approach encourages us to live fully within our means, avoiding the pitfalls of constant desire and dissatisfaction. Thus, mindfulness in Stoicism teaches us to live in the present, align our desires with natural sufficiency, and find true freedom from constant longing. Eating slowly and without distractions allows you to appreciate each bite fully. This mindfulness not only enhances your enjoyment of food, but also ensures that you eat just what is naturally sufficient for your body. Turn off your devices at least an hour before bedtime to allow your mind and body to relax naturally. This is not about deprivation, but rather alignment with natural patterns of rest and renewal. So, let's embrace these practices: a mindful morning walk, a calm evening routine, eating slowly and without distractions, outdoor exercise aligned with nature, and a digital detox that respects our body's natural need for rest. By incorporating these steps into your daily life, you will find yourself more aligned with nature's natural sufficiency and less burdened by constant longing. According to Seneca's letters, wealth is a tool that can either be used wisely or squandered recklessly. He argued that true wealth lies not in the accumulation of possessions, but in the ability to discern between necessity and excess. Seneca wrote that frugality is a virtue that leads to contentment and sufficiency. Imagine a life where every possession serves a purpose and nothing is acquired merely for show or status. Such a life is not defined by how much we have, but by the quality and purpose of what we own. This alignment with natural sufficiency is at the heart of Seneca's philosophy. It teaches us that true wealth is not found in abundance, but in the wise use of what we already possess. By understanding and applying these principles, we can achieve a life that is not only sufficient, but truly free from constant longing. According to Seneca, true friendship is not about mere companionship, but about finding someone who shares your values and aspirations. He believed that a genuine friend helps you grow, both personally and intellectually. Historically, Stoic philosophers often formed deep intellectual bonds with one another. Seneca's letters to Lucilius demonstrate the profound impact such friendships can have on personal growth. In his work on friendship, Seneca describes how a true friend is like a mirror, reflecting back your best qualities and challenging you to be better. This mutual support and growth are key aspects of a life aligned with natural sufficiency. The historical example of the friendship between Seneca and Lucilius illustrates how strong bonds can sustain one through hardships. Despite facing numerous challenges, their relationship remained a source of mutual support and growth. Through these teachings, Seneca underscores the importance of cultivating genuine friendships that support your inner peace and sufficiency. Such bonds can contribute significantly to a life aligned with natural sufficiency. This practice, known as apatheia, involves releasing unnecessary desires and attachments. The Stoics believe that by detaching ourselves from outcomes we cannot control, we align more closely with nature's natural sufficiency. Consider the example of Cleanthes, one of Zeno's students, who reportedly maintained his equanimity even when faced with personal adversity. When a heavy beam fell on him, rather than succumbing to fear or anxiety, Cleanthes reportedly said, "I was expecting you." His response illustrates the Stoic ideal of accepting what is beyond our control with calm and detachment. Another notable Stoic, Epictetus, emphasized the importance of focusing on what is within our control and letting go of the rest. He famously stated, "Don't expect Plato's Republic, don't expect a fair distribution of property." By acknowledging and accepting the limits of our control, we can cultivate inner peace and resilience. Seneca, in his letters, often emphasized the need to let go of our attachments to material possessions and worldly success. He wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." This practice of letting go is not just about resigning ourselves to fate, but about finding a deeper sense of liberation and tranquility. He argued that excessive health obsession is an example of misaligned desire, leading to endless cravings for unattainable perfection. Instead, Seneca advocated for focusing on what we can naturally sustain. By aligning our desires with natural health limits, we free ourselves from constant bodily dissatisfaction. His philosophy teaches us that a life of tranquility and liberation is found not in pursuing the impossible, but in accepting and working within our natural boundaries. As we align our desires with natural health limits, we learn to appreciate the sufficiency of our bodies and find peace in their natural state. Seneca teaches us that fear of death perpetuates endless cravings for youth and immortality, which only lead to dissatisfaction. He believed in aging gracefully by aligning our desires with what is naturally sufficient. This means acknowledging the natural limits of our bodies and appreciating their sufficiency. Seneca saw aging as a process that cannot be stopped or reversed. He argued that trying to defy nature only leads to frustration and discontentment. Instead of fighting against the inevitable, Seneca advocated for embracing the journey of life with all its phases. He taught that by accepting our mortality, we can alleviate persistent fears and find peace in the natural state of our bodies. Through this acceptance of natural limits, we learn to appreciate the sufficiency of our bodies and find contentment in each stage of life. Embracing aging as a natural process is key to alleviating fears about mortality and finding true peace. At the heart of Seneca's wisdom is the concept of managing emotions in alignment with nature's rhythms. He believed that balancing our desires with what is naturally sufficient leads to a state of emotional equilibrium where we are not swayed by extremes. Seneca introduced the idea of appropriate affect, the notion that our emotional responses should be measured and in proportion to the situation at hand. He taught that excessive emotional expression is a misalignment of desire, leading to endless cycles of turmoil. For Seneca, aligning our emotional responses with what is naturally possible avoids the pitfalls of excess. Just as a tree bends in strong winds to prevent breaking, so too must we temper our emotions to remain resilient and stable. Imagine the calm sea on a serene day versus the cold, turbulent waters during a storm. The same applies to our emotional states. They must adapt to the natural flow of life's events. Seneca's teachings remind us that freedom from emotional extremes is not about suppressing our feelings, but rather finding a balance, much like the rhythm of the tides or the changing seasons. He saw in nature a model for human behavior, consistent, reliable, and balanced. Embracing this model allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with equanimity, avoiding the trap of emotional excesses that can leave us adrift. Consider the resilience of a tree in a storm. It does not resist the wind, but sways with it, eventually returning to its upright position once the storm passes. Similarly, our emotions should adapt and find their balance naturally after intense events. By aligning our emotional responses with what is naturally possible, we avoid the endless cycles of turmoil that can leave us drained and unbalanced. This is the path to true emotional freedom, as taught by Seneca. Did you know that Seneca, the ancient philosopher, believed in setting natural limits on learning? It's not about accumulating endless information, but rather cultivating wisdom. This approach helps us avoid constant longing and craving for knowledge. For Seneca, wisdom is about understanding what we already have and using it to our advantage, rather than constantly seeking more. He believed that an insatiable thirst for knowledge can become a form of endless craving, similar to the pursuit of wealth or power. Imagine if we could apply this principle to education today. Students would focus on understanding what they already know and using that knowledge wisely. This approach would foster genuine understanding and contentment, rather than the endless chase for more information. In Seneca's view, true wisdom is about being satisfied with what we have and using it to its fullest potential. So the next time you feel that urge to learn something new, consider whether you're already in possession of the wisdom you need. Minimalism is not merely about decluttering or owning fewer possessions. It's a philosophy that reflects the natural boundaries of our world. It mirrors Seneca's teachings on sufficiency, urging us to align our desires with what is naturally available and necessary. The practice of minimalism encourages us to live within the means provided by nature, just as Seneca advised. By doing so, we can reduce unnecessary desires and lead a more content life. Imagine your home. Instead of being filled with clutter, it's spacious and inviting, reflecting the natural simplicity of our world. In a minimalist lifestyle, each item serves a purpose, echoing Seneca's principle that we should only pursue what is naturally sufficient and valuable. Practically, this means evaluating every acquisition. Does it add value to your life? Does it reflect natural limits? If not, perhaps it's better left unused. By incorporating minimalism into daily life, we can train our minds to align with the inherent boundaries of nature. And by doing so, we learn to find contentment within these limits, freeing ourselves from the constant longing Seneca warned against. Ultimately, minimalism reflects not just a style of living, but a deep understanding of our place in the world and the natural boundaries that guide us. This distinction between sufficiency and abundance is crucial in understanding contentment. While abundance might satisfy our immediate desires, it often leaves us wanting more. Seneca illustrates this with the metaphor of a leaky jar. No matter how much water you pour into it, it will always be empty because of its inherent flaw. In his Letters from a Stoic, Seneca advises us to focus on what we already have rather than chasing after more. This perspective shifts our attention from lack to plenty. He writes, We are born with all that nature needs, and we have no need of wealth, but we have great need of frugality. This is a call to recognize the value of what we already possess. Seneca's practical exercises for cultivating contentment involve regularly reflecting on our blessings. He suggests that by doing so, we will find that we lack nothing. He argues that true satisfaction comes not from accumulating more, but from appreciating what we already have. As he puts it, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Seneca's writings are filled with case studies demonstrating this principle. In one letter, he discusses a man who, despite his wealth, still feels dissatisfied. Seneca advises him to look at the simple things in life, the beauty of nature, the love of family and friends, and find contentment therein. This is not about denying oneself, but about redirecting our desires to what is truly fulfilling. With nature, the Stoics taught us to find resilience in life's inevitable challenges. The Stoic concept of adversity as opportunity is central here. Seneca, for instance, believed that adversity was a pathway to self-knowledge and growth. He saw challenges not as obstacles, but as moments that reveal our true selves. In his letters he wrote, "Adversity reveals genius, prosperity conceals it." This is more than just a positive outlook. It's about aligning our desires with what nature provides. By accepting this material reality, they found contentment in what nature offers naturally. Historically, Stoics demonstrated remarkable resilience. Consider Marcus Aurelius, who led the Roman Empire through plagues and warfare. Throughout his reign, he maintained a Stoic calm, recording in his Meditations that challenges are opportunities to practice virtue. Epictetus, another prominent Stoic, taught that the only true freedom is accepting what we cannot control. His teachings emphasize the practice of aligning desires with natural sufficiency. Practicing this philosophy, Stoics developed a remarkable capacity to endure hardship. They understood that resilience comes from within, not from external circumstances. By aligning their desires with what is naturally sufficient, they strengthen their ability to face and overcome challenges. Authentic connections in Stoicism aren't mere social niceties, they're the bedrock of a contented life. Seneca taught that true friendship and deep bonds can provide the security and support we need, reducing our cravings for constant validation. Consider Marcus Aurelius, another influential Stoic philosopher. He often referred to his relationships as a source of tranquility and strength during times of turmoil. In one of his letters, Aurelius wrote about the importance of true connection. "With a good friend at your side," he said, "even the darkest night seems bright." This illustrates how meaningful relationships can be sufficient and freeing. To align our desires with what is naturally sufficient in relationships, we must focus on the present moment. Seneca advised that we should appreciate those around us for who they are, not just what they can do for us. This aligns with the Stoic concept of living in agreement with nature. By accepting and valuing others as they are, we can reduce our expectations and desires for more. In practical terms, this means actively listening to your partner or friend without judgment, appreciating their efforts even if they fall short of perfect execution. It also involves sharing in their joys and sorrows, being a support during difficult times, and celebrating their victories as if they were your own. By cultivating these deep, authentic connections, we find that our constant longing for more can fade away. The bonds themselves become sufficient and fulfilling. In ancient Rome, a wealthy man named Trimalchio threw lavish dinner parties to flaunt his wealth. He would parade around his home, showing off his expensive art and furniture, all the while complaining about his debts. To Seneca, such displays of wealth were not only vulgar, but also a symptom of a deeper malaise, the misalignment of desires with what is naturally sufficient. The Stoic philosopher believed that true wealth was not measured in gold or silver, but in the ability to live contentedly with what one has. Seneca taught that excessive desires for material possessions lead to constant longing and discontent. He observed that the more people accumulate, the less satisfied they become. This is because our desires are boundless and can never be fully satisfied by material things alone. This means understanding and appreciating the value of simple pleasures and necessities over ostentatious luxuries. Practically speaking, this could involve living in a modest home that meets your basic needs rather than aspiring to live in a grand mansion. By doing so, you begin to see the world with fresh eyes, recognizing the true value of simplicity and sufficiency. Because when you are satisfied with what is naturally sufficient, the desire for more fades away. In his teachings, Seneca emphasizes the importance of regulating our emotions. He believes that by controlling our emotional responses, we can better align ourselves with what nature provides. He argues that emotions often cloud our judgment and lead us to desire more than is necessary. By practicing emotional self-control, we can avoid the trap of constant longing. Seneca's philosophy suggests that there is a direct relationship between our emotions and our desires. When we are emotionally balanced, we are less likely to crave what is beyond natural limits. Emotional balance allows us to appreciate the sufficiency of nature and live in harmony with its provisions. This alignment reduces our desire for excess and brings a sense of contentment. Think of it this way. Imagine trying to hold water in your hands. If you are agitated or anxious, the water will slip through your fingers, leaving you empty and still wanting more. But if you are calm and centered, you can cup the water gently and hold it without effort. In the same way, emotional self-control helps us grasp the sufficiency that nature offers. He taught that true success lies not in endless pursuit of more, but in recognizing and appreciating natural sufficiency. Seneca saw ambition as a double-edged sword. While it drives progress and innovation, it can also lead to dissatisfaction and constant longing if not kept in check. For Seneca, the distinction between natural sufficiency and excessive pursuit of success is crucial. He believed that understanding this balance helps us avoid the trap of never-ending cravings for more. Seneca's philosophy encourages us to align our ambitions with what is naturally available to us. By doing so, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of wanting more and instead find contentment in what we have. This balance between goal setting and natural limits is what Seneca considered a life well lived. In his writings, Seneca emphasized that true success comes from appreciating the present moment rather than always striving for more. Seneca differentiates between pleasure and contentment, arguing that, while pleasures can provide momentary enjoyment, they often lead to a cycle of wanting more. In contrast, contentment is derived from appreciating what we already have. Seneca's teachings on natural sufficiency remind us that true fulfillment comes not from accumulating more, but from living in harmony with our natural circumstances. This principle is fundamental to understanding the Stoic perspective on happiness and its relationship to our desires. He believed that true power did not reside in the extent of one's influence or wealth, but rather in the ability to align desires with what is naturally sufficient. Seneca taught that those in positions of authority must recognize and respect the boundaries of their power. Seneca argued that true strength lies in recognizing and accepting the limitations of one's authority, rather than attempting to exceed them. This concept is vividly illustrated through his personal experience in dealing with Nero. Despite being one of the most influential figures in Rome, Seneca did not shy away from acknowledging the emperor's flaws and advising him accordingly. Seneca's teachings hold particular relevance for those in significant positions of responsibility today, reminding them that true leadership is not about the extent of one's control, but rather about how effectively one can navigate within the boundaries of their authority. His philosophy encourages a focus on what is naturally sufficient, emphasizing that true power comes not from accumulating more, but from living in harmony with our natural circumstances. This principle is fundamental to understanding the Stoic perspective on happiness and its relationship to our desires, as Seneca teaches us through his experiences in the corridors of power. The human body, as Seneca the Younger reminds us, is a marvel of natural constraints. With its intricate systems and inherent limits, it serves as a blueprint for understanding our place in the cosmos. Take the simple act of breathing. It's regulated by the diaphragm, an essential muscle that contracts and relaxes rhythmically, drawing in oxygen and expelling carbon dioxide. Seneca, in his essay on the shortness of life, emphasizes the importance of understanding our bodily needs and aligning them with nature's design. He argues that by doing so, we can achieve a state of tranquility that is otherwise elusive. Consider sleep, an activity that takes up nearly 1/3 of our lives. Sleep is not merely a period of rest, it's a vital process for healing and rejuvenating both the body and the mind. Seneca's teachings on health underscore that a balanced approach to sleep is key. He advocates for a regular routine and a comfortable environment, both of which are conducive to the body's natural need for restful slumber. However, overindulgence in sleep can be detrimental. Excessive sleeping can lead to a lack of energy and motivation throughout the day, which is counterproductive to the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature's sufficiency. This balance between desire and natural limitations extends to our physical activity and nutrition as well. Seneca believed in the practice of moderation, not overexerting oneself in exercise or indulging in excess food consumption. In his essay on anger, Seneca warns against the dangers of gluttony and overeating. He suggests that by controlling our appetites and eating mindfully, we can maintain a healthy body and a clear mind. As we delve deeper into Seneca's wisdom, it becomes clear that our bodies are not merely vessels to be controlled or ignored, but rather they are intricate systems designed for balance and resilience, a testament to nature's ingenuity. Understanding this balance is key to living a life that is not only sustainable, but also deeply fulfilling. It's about recognizing the wisdom in natural limits and respecting them, a practice that leads to true freedom and contentment. As Seneca would say, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. By aligning our desires with nature's design, we can indeed enjoy the present and find true peace within ourselves. But what of creativity and self-expression? Seneca saw art not as a means to escape reality, but as a way to engage more deeply with it. He believed that creativity allows us to explore the complexities of life within the natural limits set by nature. For Seneca, writing was a form of personal expression that could bring us closer to understanding ourselves and our place in the world. By expressing ourselves creatively within the bounds of nature, we can find a profound sense of contentment and peace. This is the essence of Stoic creativity, using our imagination not to escape reality, but to dive deeper into it. And in doing so, we find that true happiness lies not in the pursuit of endless desires, but in appreciating and expressing ourselves within what is naturally sufficient. Stoic philosophy, as embodied by figures like Seneca, presents a compelling perspective on love and relationships. It advocates for aligning our desires with what is naturally sufficient. This principle can revolutionize how we approach and maintain personal connections. He believed that by accepting the limits of our natural capabilities, we can avoid constant longing and instead find contentment. Seneca's teachings on love emphasize the importance of understanding that love is not a possession but a mutual experience between two people. He wrote in one of his letters, "Love is a great matter, it is the greatest thing in the world. If we love, all is well. If we do not love, what avails our health, our vigor, and our very life?" Friendship, too, benefits from this Stoic perspective. Seneca believed that true friends are those who accept us for who we are and do not seek to change or possess us. He taught that friendships should be based on mutual respect and appreciation rather than dependency or control. In his letters, Seneca advises, do not look for a friend who is like yourself, rather, look for someone who complements you and brings out the best in you. By embracing sufficiency, we can enjoy deep and lasting connections with others that are not tainted by neediness or fear. In essence, Seneca's teachings on love and relationships guide us towards a life of enduring happiness. For in aligning our desires with natural sufficiency, we find that true joy comes not from what we gain, but from the richness of the present moment. And so, by embracing Stoic principles, we can cultivate relationships that are not only fulfilling, but also resilient and enduring. In one of his letters, Seneca addresses the idea of greed and how it can consume our lives. He writes, "The more you have, the more you want." This simple yet profound statement highlights the dichotomy between contentment and avarice. Seneca argues that the pursuit of wealth is an endless journey, as each new acquisition only fuels further desires. In another letter, Seneca discusses the natural limits of wealth and how it cannot satisfy the soul's deepest longings. He states, "There is nothing that nature requires which cannot be satisfied." By understanding these principles, we can prevent avarice from dominating our lives and find true contentment in what we already have. He suggests that by embracing contentment and living within our means, we can cultivate a life free from the endless desire for more. In essence, aligning with nature's sufficiency prevents avarice from consuming us. By heeding his wisdom, we can strive for a simpler existence that is both fulfilling and resilient. In the end, Seneca's teachings guide us towards a more peaceful and content life, one that is not driven by insatiable greed, but rather by an appreciation for what we already possess. For Seneca, aligning our desires with what nature provides was paramount in achieving tranquility. He believed that by embracing natural pleasures within their proper bounds, we avoid the insatiable cravings that can drive us to discontent. Natural pleasures, according to Seneca, are those that meet our basic needs and come from genuine interactions with nature. For instance, enjoying a warm meal on a cold day or the comfort of a good night's sleep after strenuous activity. Moderation plays a crucial role in Seneca's philosophy. He argues that we should savor these natural pleasures without excess, thus preventing them from becoming sources of frustration and longing. Seneca cautions against indulging in artificial or excessive pleasures, such as overeating or luxurious living conditions beyond what nature intends. These habits can lead to discontent when the initial excitement fades away. Moreover, Seneca teaches that by avoiding unnecessary pains, we prevent ourselves from creating imbalances in our lives. For example, pushing oneself through an intense workout every day might initially seem challenging, but can lead to burnout and discomfort over time. By accepting pleasure within these natural bounds, we find a balance that keeps us content and at peace with our surroundings. Imagine the relief of finding respite in a cool shade after a day under the scorching sun. That momentary pleasure is a gift from nature, and it is this kind of harmony Seneca advocates for. This acceptance of pleasure within natural bounds allows us to cultivate an appreciation for the simplicity and beauty of nature's offerings, ultimately enriching our lives with true contentment. By following Seneca's wisdom on pleasure and pain, we can live in harmony with nature, finding peace within its natural rhythms. In the heart of ancient Rome, a city teeming with political intrigue and social ambition, Seneca, one of the era's most influential philosophers, offered a unique perspective on the nature of true friendship. Amidst the constant quest for power and prestige, Seneca taught that genuine friendships provide a natural sufficiency that aligns with nature's limits. For Seneca, friendship was not merely a social bond, but a fundamental aspect of living in harmony with nature. In his letters and consolations, he argues that true friends offer comfort, support, and a sense of belonging that satisfies our deepest needs. However, Seneca also warns against excessive social ambition, which he sees as a root cause of dissatisfaction. He observes that those who chase after social status and influence often find themselves in a state of perpetual longing. This endless pursuit leaves them dissatisfied and unable to find contentment within the natural limits of their lives. Seneca believes that true friendships, by contrast, provide a sense of fulfillment without the need for endless striving. In this way, Seneca's wisdom on friendship teaches us that true connections provide the natural boundaries and comfort needed to live in harmony with our natural selves. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, Seneca's insights remind us that true friendship is a timeless key to contentment and peace. Seneca believed that self-discipline is the cornerstone of a life well lived. In his essay on tranquility of mind, he writes, "Self-control is the greatest and most important of all virtues. This virtue, according to him, allows us to manage our impulses and align them with what nature provides us. By doing so, we avoid the constant dissatisfaction that comes from chasing desires beyond our reach." He illustrates this concept with a vivid metaphor. Imagine the mind as a garden. The gardener, representing our self-control, must tend to and prune the plants our desires so that they do not overgrow and choke each other out. By keeping our desires in check, we cultivate harmony and balance within ourselves. Seneca also provides practical exercises for developing this inner control. He suggests practicing temperance in our daily habits, eating simple meals, avoiding luxuries, and enduring hardships with equanimity. These practices help us understand the true nature of sufficiency. Seneca's teachings on self-control are not merely philosophical musings, but practical tools for navigating life's challenges. They offer a path to inner peace and resilience in the face of adversity. In this light, self-discipline emerges as a vital aspect of aligning our desires with nature's sufficiency. It is through this alignment that we achieve a state of mind free from ceaseless yearning. As Seneca concludes, the greatest wealth is to live content with little. This contentment, born of self-control, is the true path to inner tranquility. By embracing this philosophy, we come to realize that true happiness lies not in the pursuit of more, but in the appreciation of what is already ours. Gratitude is a central practice within Stoic philosophy, as Seneca's works play a significant role in shaping our understanding of this timeless wisdom. In his philosophical writings, Seneca often reflects on the simple pleasures of life: a warm meal, a comfortable bed, the beauty of nature. These reflections serve as reminders that true contentment comes from appreciating these basic elements rather than constantly craving more. Seneca teaches us to pause and acknowledge the goodness in our lives, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. This practice of gratitude helps to shift our focus away from what we lack towards what we already have, leading to a life free of constant longing. Imagine waking up each morning and taking a moment to appreciate the warmth of your bed, the comfort of your pillow, and the quietude that surrounds you. These are moments of profound gratitude. Seneca's teachings on gratitude are not just about abstract philosophical concepts, but practical, everyday practices that we can incorporate into our lives. By making gratitude a regular part of our routine, we begin to align our desires with nature's inherent limits and appreciate the natural sufficiency that surrounds us. This alignment brings us closer to a life free of endless cravings, where true happiness can flourish. For Seneca, proper use of leisure time is not about endless indulgence, but rather finding balance in activities that promote inner freedom. He believed that true leisure involves mental and physical rest, allowing us to maintain our natural sufficiency. This means engaging in activities that are naturally sufficient and align with the principles of Stoicism, such as reading philosophy, contemplating nature, or practicing self-reflection. By doing so, we cultivate a mindset that is at peace with what is within our control and accept what is not. Seneca's teachings highlight the importance of mental rest in maintaining inner balance. He suggests that by taking time for reflection and introspection, we can better understand our desires and align them with what is naturally sufficient. Physical rest is also crucial, as it helps us rejuvenate and maintain the energy needed to face life's challenges with stoic resilience. In his work on the shortness of life, Seneca argues that excessive pursuit of knowledge can lead to a life filled with constant longing and dissatisfaction. He suggests that by aligning our interests in learning with what is naturally sufficient, we can find fulfillment without falling into the trap of insatiable desire. Seneca believed that true wisdom lies not in the quantity of knowledge, but in understanding its limits and how it fits within nature's design. For Seneca, intellectual pursuits are a means to understand the universe and our place within it, rather than an end in themselves. He writes, "What does not look like work when you are doing it? But afterwards, after the toil is over, you see that it was nothing but play." Here, Seneca underscores the joy and pleasure found in learning when it is aligned with nature's rhythms. By embracing intellectual interests within the bounds of natural sufficiency, we free ourselves from endless cravings and find a life rich with meaning. This alignment allows us to appreciate the depth and beauty of knowledge without being consumed by its endless pursuit. Thus, we are encouraged to engage in learning with a spirit of curiosity and wisdom, always remembering that true fulfillment comes not from endless acquisition, but from understanding our place within nature's grand design. In his letters, Seneca advises that we should focus on the value of genuine friendships over the fleeting allure of wealth and material goods. He believed that true happiness is found in the bonds we form with others, rather than the objects we accumulate. He wrote, "Let us not say that a man is happy because he has a great deal, but because he requires little." This sentiment underscores the Stoic belief in living within the bounds of natural sufficiency. Seneca taught that when we focus on what we already have, the loving relationships, supportive communities, and the simple joys in life, we can find a deep sense of contentment. This is not about deprivation, but about appreciating the inherent wealth of meaningful connections. He believed that by aligning our desires with what is naturally sufficient in relationships, we can live more freely and with less longing for what we don't have. This alignment brings a sense of peace and stability to our lives. This contentment in relationships is not merely about having enough, but about understanding the true value of what we already possess. It's a state where we are grateful for what we have and at peace with what we don't need. The pursuit of contentment in daily routines is a fundamental teaching of Seneca, the Roman philosopher who urged us to align our desires with what is naturally sufficient. Seneca believed that true freedom comes not from the endless pursuit of more, but from appreciating and making the most of what we already have. One way to achieve this is by integrating Stoic principles into our daily routines, creating a sense of contentment and freedom from constant longing. This might mean starting your day with a moment of gratitude for the simple comforts around you, the warmth of your bed, the softness of your pillow. Instead of rushing out of the door, take a moment to appreciate the quiet rhythm of your home, the ticking of the clock, the rustling of leaves outside. For instance, the act of making your bed can become a meditative practice, each fold bringing a sense of order and calm to your space. Preparing a simple meal can be an opportunity to savor the flavors and textures of your ingredients, appreciating the work of farmers and the natural world that brought them to you. Even a task as simple as doing the dishes can be transformed into an act of mindfulness, feeling the warmth of the water and the smoothness of the plates. By integrating these principles into our routines, we can create a sense of contentment and freedom from constant longing. By embracing these principles, we can transform our daily routines into opportunities for mindfulness, appreciation, and true freedom. Consider the concept of biophilia, a term coined by renowned psychoanalyst Erich Fromm. It refers to our innate tendency to seek connections with nature and other forms of life. Seneca would have embraced this idea, recognizing it as a natural expression of our alignment with nature's limits. Seneca believed that our environment provides us with everything we truly need. In his writings, he often reflected on the simple pleasures found in nature, the comforting shade of a tree, the refreshing sound of a stream. These elements, when appreciated for their inherent value, reduce the constant longing for more. Excess consumption is a deviation from this natural alignment. Seneca observed that our desire for luxuries often leads to a depletion of resources. He warned against overindulgence, noting that it undermines the very sustainability we seek in nature. By embracing environmental sufficiency, we reduce our impact on the planet. This is not merely an ecological imperative, but also a spiritual practice rooted in Stoic philosophy. Seneca understood that living within nature's means fosters a balanced and content life. Think of it this way: just as we find peace by aligning our desires with what is naturally sufficient for us, so too can we create harmony by respecting the limits set by our environment. This dual alignment not only enhances our appreciation for nature, but also frees us from the constant longing for more resources. In essence, environmental sufficiency is about recognizing that we are part of a larger ecosystem. By living within its bounds, we contribute to the stability and sustainability of that system. Seneca's teachings remind us that true freedom comes not from exploiting nature's bounty, but from respecting its limits. Consider the simple act of preparing a meal. Seneca would advocate for mindful attention to each ingredient, appreciating its natural origin rather than yearning for exotic or rare components. This practice of gratitude and acceptance extends beyond our meals. Seneca encourages us to embrace the rhythm of daily routines, from washing dishes to tending to a garden. Mindfulness in these tasks allows us to appreciate the present moment without the distraction of constant cravings for more. For instance, a Stoic might find contentment in the repetitive motion of sweeping the floor, seeing it as an opportunity to clear the mind and focus on the physical sensations. In this way, even mundane chores can become meditative practices that bring us closer to a state of inner tranquility. Minimalists focus on owning only essential items, reducing clutter and unnecessary distractions. This practice echoes Seneca's advice to live within our means, finding contentment in simplicity. By embracing natural sufficiency in daily habits, we can free ourselves from the constant desire for more. This is not about deprivation, but about finding satisfaction and meaning in the everyday.